Hey guys, welcome back to the Art of Craftsmanship. My name is Dustin, and today we're not in the shop. We're down in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're at Blade Show, the biggest knife making show in the world. I'm here to find out, what do you do as a knife maker who doesn't like to spend money, and I'm not exhibiting. I don't like to buy knives, I like to make knives. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some handle material and some different knife making materials and maybe some tools and things like that. And maybe I'll actually find a knife that inspires me to buy it, but I'm not sure, we'll see. We'll bring you along for the journey. Let's head in and check it out. I've had other people asking me. In my mind, I was ready to feel it smooth.
When you walk in to the main gallery of Blade Show, the first thing you realize that is just gigantic. There's tons of people, an amazing selection of awesome knife makers and knife supplies. It's just almost too much to take in and too much to do in one day, as it turned out, but it's really awesome. So you have a really big room, so the main room, and then you have a small room, and both rooms are just so full of people, so full of awesome makers, and try to figure out how you're going to make your way around to everything you want to see.
Right on.
Make them all out of 86, 70, they're blanks. Take the blades.
Right.
Like, I don't want to split it up and do one.
I've been inspired. He was literally like one of the first people that I
Put
saw.
that in your hand. Imagine. He's actually got
I like the painting. Not bad.
Now, what's the one thing about Blade Show that we all went for? And that's obviously the blades. Now, I got to hold and handle hundreds of blades, and really what I was looking for, something for me to purchase, was really, something that I can't make easily. So flippers, folders, things like that, things that are kind of fun to hold, but I'm also not going to spend $200 or $300 on a knife. So I was looking at things under $100. I got to hold a lot and feel them and feel the action and the movement and how they felt and looked in my hand. And that's one of the things that you don't get to do all the time. Just having that access to so many cool knives in one place was great. And I did end up buying a couple knives, but I'm not going to show you them yet. We'll look at some of the other knives. I'll show you those when we get back to Baltimore.
Oh, right. So yeah.
Really, the most important thing for me was to meet up with some of these makers that I have known and, conversed with through social media, and being part of the maker community for years, and people who have supported my work and I've supported their work, and really going around and seeing these people and meeting these people that I've known and putting handshakes to names and faces and get to spend some time with some of those friends. That was really almost the best part of Blade Show, and one of the best things I took away, and one of the best things that I'll remember and also look forward to when I go back to Blade Show next year. A Blade Show is not just about knives, it's about all blades in general. We have swords and we have daggers and all sorts of fun bladed weapons. Also, a lot of people carrying stuff. That was one of the things that we weren't sure. We kind of talked about what we could bring, how many knives we could carry in, and what things I could bring to show people. But there were definitely people carrying any number of blades and knives and weaponry of all sorts, which was fun. The other thing about that was I've been interested in making swords for a while, so it was really cool to be able to talk to some makers who had made swords and get their pointers and tips and tricks about that, and also be able to kind of feel and pick up and really get a handle on the weight of actual swords. And I actually ended up stopping by Valiant Armory here, and I almost walked by, but I liked the look of the swords, and I wanted to pick it up and feel it just after kind of making wooden swords recently, and wanted to feel the real weight of it, which was surprisingly light, which was cool. But I talked for a while to Sonny and his daughter and son about making swords, and got some really cool tips and tricks, and noticed that he was selling some blanks. Something that I thought about doing recently was purchasing a blank, because I could basically get the blank for the same price as I could get a piece of steel. He actually ended up giving me one of his sword blanks to try working on and do the grinding, and I'll kind of collaborate with him in the future. But we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. There are also a lot of bigger companies at Blade Show, and Damasteel is one of the companies that I was really interested in talking to and seeing some of their work. They focus on really beautiful patterns of stainless Damascus, which is a lot harder to make than regular Damascus, so it's cool that there's a company out there producing some steel for people. And I got to see a lot of really beautiful knives made by some pretty famous makers using the Damasteel and the different patterns they have, which is just really beautiful work. And one of the things that caught my eye was these really awesome folding pucos from Karaswando, and something that I've been looking for throughout all the blade show. And right there was also a really beautiful knife from Michael West. And that kind of got me thinking, like, I wanted to make sure I got around and met some of these makers that I really am inspired by, and Michael West is one of those. Now, he does really, really beautiful work and definitely crosses the line in my mind as, you know, an artist as well as a knife maker. And I feel like he feels the same way, and he puts a lot of time and effort into making sure that his knives are, you know, as beautiful as possible, and they have beautiful lines and the shape and the flow, and the handles and the sheaths all fit together. It's just definitely a piece of artwork, and you know you're handling artwork when you're handling his knives. Just definitely something that I was looking forward to seeing, and has been an inspiration to me for a few years now. Speaking of inspiration, as I was checking out the supplies at Pop's Knife Supply, I realized that Andy Roy was there, and Andy is the knife maker for Fiddleback Forge, and probably my oldest inspiration as a knife maker. I found him way back before YouTube and back before Instagram, and was really inspired to see his work. And I realized we were running out of time on this day, and so I ran over to see Lynn Ray, who was kind of the last person I really wanted to see before we left. I love the shape of his knives and how he, you know, uses blacksmithing and knife making, and the balance that he has between blade and handle. It's something that's important to him, and definitely something that's important to me. So his work has been a big, you know, a big part of what I do, and a big part of the things that I like to see. So it was truly a pleasure to be able to meet these makers in person and actually be able to hold their knives.
Something so, like, I don't know. Okay, yeah. It's cool. G10 on one side, because I've been making wooden swords for my daughter, who's 13. Oh my God. Right, that it's not gonna, it doesn't want to go over it yet. It's like I'm the one who makes it. No. I've been looking years ago. So.
And that's it for our experience at Blade Show. We did go back to the pit that evening and got to spend a bunch of time with some friends and other makers and have some great conversations, but woke up the next morning and headed home.
We're back. Long drive down, long drive back. We're back, and you can see that I brought a bunch of stuff back from Blade Show. A lot of what you see here is swag, and those are things that I, you know, gave things and got things from people, and built some awesome relationships and talked to some people that I've known for a long time. But, you know, what did I get? What did I pay for? What did I buy? Because that was kind of what we went into it. What do you buy as a knife maker? So really, I mean, I looked at a lot of really cool handle material. I ended up purchasing a piece of bog oak, and this is about $40. So, you know, a good price for a nice piece of bog oak. Talked to the guy a little bit about where they came from, and I got the history of that, which is really cool. This is a piece of bog oak that's from 3600 BC, which is just crazy, and I love the darkness. So that'll definitely make its way into a video in the future. I also picked up a really nice pair of knife maker's tongs. So these are offset tongs, so you can put in a piece of steel, and it goes next to your handle. You can work on the end. This is something I've been looking for a while, so I was really happy to pick these up, and also these were $40. So not a super great deal, not way better than you can get online, but being able to get there and not have to do shipping, and being able to hold it and, you know, feel. They had a bunch of different sizes, so this is the size I liked. So definitely happy with that. Devon picked up a couple knives, so he got a kind of a cool auto knife. There were a lot of auto knives. You saw some stuff with Microtech. Super cool little fun knife. I think this was like 15 bucks. So, you know, definitely some more expensive ones, but the cheap ones, they actually worked well. He also got the SOG Auto Assist opening knife. This was, I think, $35. Kind of nice. We were looking at their booth, and Devon looked at it. He liked the black and orange, and ended up being a really reasonably priced knife. It feels really nice in the hand. So he got that. And he also got this knife from Beyond Knives. This is a really nice little knife that we both really liked. We stopped by the booth because we saw, you know, these knives, which we liked them. This is the Jade G10, which is the one that I got, and Devon got the blue one. Both really nice knives. They're left-handed. And then the one that I really like, which is kind of my, I guess maybe my favorite takeaway knife that I got, is the CRKT CEO. And this is their flipper knife. Just super elegant, really nice lines, and that's kind of something that I was really looking for. Something that I wanted from the show was something with some really nice lines. which is kind of why I always think of that like Puko style, you know, simplified versions of what these things are. And I really like this one. It turned out I think this is about $45. And for that price is definitely something that I'm super happy I got. You know, I can imagine myself wearing this with a tuxedo or, you know, dressing up with it. It's just a really nice knife, super nice action. So again, you know, we found all sorts of cool stuff and talked to all sorts of great people and got tons of inspiration, which really, I think the main thing about going to Blade Show is having those relationships, getting that inspiration, talking to those people that I've seen and I've loved for years and I love their work, and really coming away with that type of experience. That's really what Blade Show is about, and I think that's really what we take from it as knife makers and as people who go as creatives and go as people who spend their money on you know, supplies and tools to make knives. So if you're thinking about going to Blade Show, it's definitely 100% worth it. If you like knives and you like the people and you like the community, that's what we're there for. Now, the last thing you saw was I really talked a lot about and saw a lot of swords. Now, this is the sword that I came away with. This is the sword that I'll be grinding, and we'll be doing a collaboration with Valiant Armory. So we'll show you that more in the future. So keep your eye out for that video. It's gonna be really cool. And a bunch of other videos using these materials and tools and the things that I got from Blade Show. That's all for now, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.